All right, the next section in our surface area foldable is prisms. We are going to be filling in these notes, and then you will be doing a Schoology assignment to practice for prisms. All right, what is a prism? Starting at the top here. A prism is a 3D shape with two congruent parallel faces. Okay, so we should know what a face is. It's the flat part of the shape, and these are called the bases. So you're always going to have two of those, and they are parallel, and so that means they won't be touching. One is on one side, one is on the other side. These bases, they're not always at the bottom of our pictures, and that's very important to know, because we hear the word base and we think, oh, base, the bottom. But they're not always going to be at the bottom of your picture. And also the shape of the base is going to determine the name of your prism. And so we'll get into that here. As you can tell on this first one, it is a prism, and my two bases that are parallel are these two triangles. Here's one and here's the other. So you notice how it's not really on the bottom of the shape, but they're parallel. So this would be called a triangular prism. And so that's why the base determines the name. And so what kind of shape is my base? My base is a triangle. Triangle, okay? Now, these bases are very, very important because it's going to help us find our surface areas when we use our formulas, okay? Now, the next one is a rectangular prism, because it has rectangles here. Here's one, here's another. Okay, so this is called a rectangular prism. All right. And what shape is this base? It is a rectangle. Okay. All right. And then the last one, a polygon that has 5 sides is called a pentagon. That didn't work, but here's one and here's another one. So this is called a pentagonal prism. Okay. All right. So very important. Prisms have parallel bases, one at the top, one at the bottom, but they're not always on the bottom. They could be sideways, laying on their side. Oh, that is wrong. I'm supposed to put pentagon. The base is a pentagon. Sorry. Okay. And there we go. All right. Now to the formula is very, very important. We're going to have two types of surface areas. One is called lateral surface area. And this is the surface area of a shape that does not include the bases. So what does this mean? So if you're sitting in the classroom right now, or wherever you're sitting at, it's a room, right? Hopefully it's a room. If not, then just think of a room and think of the walls in the room, okay? In a room, we have walls that surround us, but then we also have a ceiling and we have a floor. Okay, lateral surface area does not include the ceiling or the floor. It just includes the walls around you. So if you had a room, okay, it would only be including the outside portions, not the top or the bottom. And that's what lateral surface area. It does not include the bases. So think of like the ceiling and the floor. And then the surface area, which is the total, it does include the bases. It does, okay? And so the formulas are different, but let's start with lateral. For prisms, your lateral formula is equal to your perimeter times your height. Perimeter, so P is perimeter of the base. Okay. So perimeter, who remembers what perimeter means? Perimeter is when you add all the edges. You add them all up. Okay, so that's perimeter of the base. And then h is the height of the prism. Height of prism. And that's it. You just multiply them. The perimeter and the height of the prism. All right, so write that down so you have it on your notes for lateral area. Okay. For total surface area, this one is an S, you take your lateral area, which was your perimeter times your height that we just wrote down, plus the area of your two bases. So that's a capital B, very important, capital B. All right, so do y'all see how perimeter times height is your lateral? And that's what we did up here. So you take that part and then you add two areas of the base. So just put a little note here that this is technically the lateral area plus two areas of bases. Of the base, sorry. And so just so you know, capital B is equal to the area of the base. And so we're going to add two of those. Okay? Please write this down so you don't forget, because it's very important when we start doing these problems, okay? So it's your lateral area, perimeter times height, plus two areas of your base. And so that's why I said the base is the most important thing in these prisms, because it's part of all of this, the perimeter, and the areas of the base, okay? So let's start with the first one. Oops. On your test and on all these, it's going to ask you to do both the lateral and the total. So let's do the lateral first of this prism. What kind of prism is this, by the way? What's the shape of my base? It's a rectangle, so it's a rectangular prism. Okay. All right, so lateral area equals perimeter times height. Perimeter is perimeter of the base, so I'm just going to draw the base here. It's a rectangle. Okay. And then the outside edges are 10 and 5. And we should know that that means this is 5 and this is 10. So let's calculate the perimeter. So draw your base. It's a rectangle. So perimeter equals 5 plus 10 plus 5 plus 10. So what is that perimeter? When you add those all up, you get 30. Okay. All right, so we're going to take this perimeter and we're going to plug it in. So lateral area equals your perimeter times the height of your prism. How tall is this prism? This prism is 12 centimeters tall, so times 12. And then you just use your calculator. 30 times 12. 30 times 12. 360. Okay, and since this is area, it is centimeters squared. Okay, so there's the lateral. Now let's do the total surface area, which is your perimeter times height plus the area of two bases. Okay, but I already know what this one is. We just did it. What's the perimeter times the height? 360. So I'm just going to put that there because I already know what it is. And so now I need to find the area of the base. Remember, big B is area of the base. So let's do some side work. Okay, what's the formula to find the area of a rectangle? It is length times width, or base times height. So 5 times 10 is 50. Okay, so that's what we're going to bring over here. So 2 times 50. All right. And so 360 plus, what's double 50? 100. 360 plus 100, 460. And then it's centimeters squared. And that's it. You found the lateral and you found the total. All right, so one thing I want you to notice is that for these types of problems, there's some side work that needs to be done in order to plug in the formula. So we had to do the perimeter first, to do lateral, and then we had to do the area of the base to do the total surface area. All right. Okay. Let's do another rectangular. If you want to try to do it on your own, I recommend you pause the video and then see if you got it right. So my students who like to challenge themselves, pause the video and try to do this one. See if you get it right. Okay, ready? Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. All right, if you paused it or if you didn't pause it, you're just watching the video, let's do this one. Here's the base, another rectangle. I'm just going to draw it here. And it's 4 and 9. So this is 9 and 4. Okay, so that's the base. You can't really see it, but there's another rectangle down here at the bottom. Okay, lateral area equals perimeter times the height. Perimeter is, I'm just going to do it here on the side. 4 plus 9 plus 4 plus 9. What is the perimeter of this rectangle, the outside? That is going to be 26. So if you got 26, good job. So then you plug it in here. 26 times the height. What is the height of this prism? How tall is it? 16. Okay, and then you just multiply that. 26 times 16 is 416 feet squared. Okay, so there's the lateral. Okay, let's do the total, which is your perimeter times your height plus 2 areas of the base. Okay, and then remember we already did perimeter times height, so we're just going to put that into the formula, which was 416 plus 2 times the area of your base. So let's do that calculation. Big B is area of the base, so 4 times 9. That is 36. Okay, so times 36. 2 times 36. Okay. All right, 416 plus 2 times 36. That's 72. And then you add it to 416. And we get 488 feet squared. Okay. All right. Hopefully you got that right. And that you're getting the hang of the two formulas, the lateral and the total. Okay. All right. I'm going to end this video here for these two problems. I'll do the other two on a separate video. But just so you know, on your notes, you do need to fill in the rest because this one right here is going to be on your test, the triangle one. Actually, they're all going to be on your test. So go watch the next video, okay?